Hello and thank you. Merry Christmas in July and thank you for being patient. It was not Kathy, it was me. So this week in my small little Hallmark town is the Feast of the Mount Carmel, and today is the day. And it was a big procession, and the bishop was here, and we were in traffic, and I got stuck. But I'm here. Hi, Kathy. How are you?
I'm good.
You're good.
The 90
Hi,
degree
friends.
temperatures finally broke.
What happened?
The 90-degree temperatures finally broke for a while.
Oh, well, yeah, here it's 106. It felt like really it was the real feel was 106.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Hi everyone. I'm going to put Merry Christmas in July. All right. So I want to start, if you don't mind, Kathy, can I start with a question for everyone?
Sure.
Anyone that's here that feels like participating, what are you thinking about holidays? Maybe you haven't watched it. That's okay. But the people that have watched it, what are you thinking? Like, what are your feelings about the program or the series itself? Just in general, I'm curious. How about you, Kathy? If you had to rate it, now we're only looking at episodes 1 through 4. If you had to give it a rating, I know I'm looking in my purse. I'm sorry, very unprofessional, but this is just us chatting. If you had to give it like a rating of, I don't know, 1 to 5 overall in general, what would you give it?
According to Hallmark standards, it's probably a 4 or 5.
What about to your standards, though?
That's a different story.
Okay. And you're going to share with us, though, right?
I
Tell
will.
us why you feel the way you feel.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, good. I love it. So, episodes 1 through 4. Obviously, the first episode was us getting to know everyone, right? And right away, the person that stood out to me that got on my last nerves was the dad, played by the very famous, the one with who's going crazy with his house, Virginia. What is it? How do you say her last name? Madston. Is that how you?
Madsen.
Yeah. So she's the mama, and her husband is a big Jerk. Yes. Right.
Mm-hmm.
He got on my nerves. I just couldn't take him too much. And his daughter, she got on my nerves. That's played by the lovely what is it? Is it Holland
Helen
Rodan?
Roden.
We know her from your favorite werewolf show, right?
Team Wolf.
Teen
Yeah.
Wolf. Yeah, that was good. That was good. Robin, how are we doing? I'm good. I'm in a rush, but I'm good. How are you doing, Kathy?
I'm doing very good.
Yeah. So I loved how all the little stories, and I lived on a cul-de-sac for years. And so I kind of like that, it kind of reminded me of some of the years I was growing up. But I liked how we got a little bit of each of them and their stories. And then we start to have the stories unravel, and then they come circling back to each other. So the premise of it, I thought, was a little complicated, but they did it really well. It kind of reminded me on Christmas on Cherry Lane, where they went through all the years and then you got to see how they were. Okay. All right.
I thought
Yeah.
about that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And so episode 4 is intense with the two sisters, but I really enjoy the storyline with the actor. His name is Sebastian, with Erin Cahill. I love that storyline. She's the sheriff. And is it the Hill family? He's a Hill, I think his last name is. And he's a hot mess. And there's that one scene where he's with the those, they're so good together, where he has to learn how to hug. That made me cry. Like, she's teaching him how to hug. I've seen that stupid episode like 5 times and I cry every time. I don't know what it is. And I thought that the acting between them was good. Like, I always say this, but I like when I don't know they're acting. I feel like they're my neighbor and I got to peek into their window.
Yeah.
I like that one. And the other thing that I really enjoyed was the two sisters misunderstanding each other, and it's like so real. That really happens in families.
Yep.
And but the one sister, she got on my nerves. Like, everything was her fault. Like, when her lips got swollen because she was allergic, like everything was somebody's. She was a sad woman. She lived a sad little life, and she got on my nerves. Like, she was a
How
sad life.
dare she not be happy?
Well, not at all. Everything was a oh ho hum, except maybe when she looked at her daughter, but everything else was ho hum. Let's see. Agree with Karen. I like some better than others.
Karen said up above, she gave it a 3.
I
Only
like some of
still
the
on
stories
top.
better than the others. So with it just so far, because there are more stories that will be introduced. And then the Korea, no, are they Korean? No, my gosh, they're Asian, but which that's I don't mean that to be disrespectful. I
I
forgot.
think they're like Thai or Taiwanese.
Okay, and I know that the gentleman that he's going to marry is Indian. So
Hmm.
they've got a lot of different culture going on there. And I love the grandmother's expression at the end when she looks out the window and she sees them kissing. Like she's like it's a cliffhanger and then it moves on. That storyline was okay, but it was, and I think this is going to segue into what you're saying, a little too tropey for me.
Yeah.
And I want to hear what you have to say about that. Let's see what they have. Yes, love the Hill family episode as well as the Woods. Great acting all around to me, of course. Okay, Robin. And Candace, you watched, so did I. Watch this on Hallmark Plus. Yes, I did, but I'm rewatching too with them as well. And you do love all the stories. The Lynns, yes, the Lynns were. I felt like they could have done better with their storyline. It was too tropey, stereotypical, like, the grandma who's the matriarch, who you can't tell what's really going on in the family. That kind of thing was a little too tropey. So go ahead. Let's hear what you have to say.
For me,
Yes, you're
yeah,
next.
I just tropey was the word of the day as I'm watching it. I want to start by saying that the term star-studded, usually I think it's overused, overrated. Not this time. Some of my favorites, I wrote them down. Uh, Aaron, who we just talked with a couple weeks ago. John McGinley, I love from
And that's who was the, yes.
Scrubs. Yep, from Scrubs. Holland
Mm-hmm.
Roden, who's one of my favorites from Teen Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Haysbert, who could read the phone book, and I would just sit there with a cup of coffee and smile. Um, the incredible, the Queen, Loretta Devine. Oh my gosh, she's just a legend in her own time. Virginia Madsen, who I have, she's a local. She went to Parker High School here, and I've watched her career since she first started out. So
I
she's
know. Well,
another
so
favorite.
beautiful. I
And Jeff
know.
Joseph, who appeared in one of my favorite comedies, and it's so obscure I don't think anyone knows about it. It's called Dream On. It was called Dream On with Brian Benben, and it was a TV series about this man who had grown up in the TV age, and so he related every situation in his life to some TV
That's
show.
familiar. That sounds familiar.
He'd be talking or in some situation, and they would cut to a clip from a TV show that kind of expanded on what he was thinking. So it's a class cast, and they do a fabulous job. They're great with acting. Having said all that, I think I'm just in a mood where uh, the Hallmark tropes are wearing me down,
Yeah.
and it's like it's the same doggone plot for every single movie. I mean, I know they can be creative because you look at The Way Home, um,
Yeah.
where they just went totally out of the box, and that was a smash hit. But I guess they keep doing it because people keep watching them, and
That's
I,
what they do.
so God bless you if you like it. But there's so much more I thought they could do. Um, so I was looking like, am I using the word trope in the right context? And I looked it up,
Okay.
and it said trope, a recurring theme, character type, or plot device that appears in many stories.
Mm.
I think that totally explains my point. So
Mhm.
I was thinking about the storylines, and Nora and Josh, that's the single parent trope, the
Right,
we crushes in high school trope.
right.
And like, can we mix it up a little bit? Why does the kid? I love Sebastian. He's doing such a fabulous job.
Oh
But
my god, he's a
does
doll.
the kid always have to be underage and cute and adorable and sweet and lovable? How about a teenager who's in that stage where, how dare you be looking at going out with some guy? It's just the two of us, mom. You know, it's I think I've seen
Yeah.
single parent be divorced, maybe, but
Hmm.
usually it's widowed. But how about a divorce, or they just separated, and the spouse comes back and they have to really work through, do you want to be with the old crush from high school, or do you want to get back with the spouse and try to make it work?
Yeah.
Man, I could get into that, if she chose the old spouse. Um, I don't know, that was my
That's
oh,
good.
oh, and I know this is a little racy for Hallmark,
Hmm.
but maybe Nora and Josh fell out because they went a little too far in high school, and then he went off to school, and she's going to have to break it to him that he's actually,
The
the
father.
he's actually the father. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
think that would mix it up a little bit, and
Mhm.
maybe I've watched too much Lifetime instead of Hallmark. So, um,
But it really did start off, I'm sorry, it really did start off for Hallmark Plus, and Hallmark Plus does push the envelope a little
yeah,
because we do see it hasn't come yet, but it's coming in the other episodes. We do see some different things. We'll see an older woman with a younger man, and we know that they're intimate because they talk about it.
yeah.
So there are some things. You're right. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Linda and Robert. Oh my gosh, the dream team. Linda and Robert, Dennis and Loretta. I could eat them up. Yeah. So that's love and jealousy disguised as hostility and enmity and misunderstanding. Because I'm sure it's going to come out. Whatever
Uh-huh.
happened between them was some big old misunderstanding, and
Hmm.
he's going to be totally jealous of young Buck and so forth. So I do kind of look forward to that ride, but
Hmm.
um, that's actually the one that's probably the least tropey of
It
all the
is.
storylines, because
Yeah.
you don't see that a lot. Um, and they're acting the heck out of it, and I'm sure they will continue to act the heck out of it. So I'm looking forward to that. And
I am too.
I think there's going to be. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on.
No, no, no.
Going to be some connection between, what is it, Robert, and what's the young fella's name? Is it John? Her boyfriend.
I forget what it is. Yes.
I think there's going to be a connection there, and it could be as subtle as he reminds her of Robert when he was young, and maybe he has some characteristics of Robert that somehow Robert let go
That's
uh,
your
during,
prediction.
during the marriage. Yeah, yeah. So I think what she's doing is she could be
Right.
recreating her history with Robert, because she really never let him go. So that
Right.
one, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays out. That should be and I'm sure there's going to be some interesting sparring between Robert and the her boyfriend. So
So Robert and what's the young guy? The young guy. So this is interesting to me. So the guy who plays her boyfriend, before Holidays came out and I had an opportunity to watch it, I watched and I know it was made ahead of time because I had interviewed Holland, and she had told me, she and Cynthia had told me a little bit about this, but we couldn't say anything. And then like months later it came out because they filmed it a while ago. But the actor who plays her boyfriend, Loretta's, was that her name, Loretta? What's her in the movie? I
Linda,
forget what it is. What is
Linda,
it, Linda?
mhm.
Okay, 2 L's. Who plays her boyfriend? He was in a movie where he plays an EMT, was he? And it took place in
Oh,
Philadelphia.
he was Miranda Bailey's husband in Grey's Anatomy, I think, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. Well, see, anyway, I don't know. I just saw him in a Hallmark movie. It was the first time I ever saw him, but that wasn't his first Hallmark movie because Holidays came out and I knew Holidays had been um filmed way before then. So I was already, oh, I just got dizzy. I was already loving him, and then he showed up there and I was like, I don't know if I can like you in this role, but then I did. I'm looking off of what his name is. I'm looking for him to see if I could find him. He is a very, very, very handsome man. He's tall and he is really good. Um, and I hope they put him in more stuff. And I'm gonna find, you know who else was cool? The guy who was the son to Virginia's son, he was funny, and I've seen him in many things. He was in a movie with It Was Always You or something like that. It was with Aaron Krakow. That's who she was going to marry, but then instead she was really in love with Tyler Hines, the brother. But he's Clark, I think, is his the way they talk to each other. That family is really like a real family. There's the hot dog scene when they're sitting around the table and she thinks you ate it, it's not vegan, get it out, get it out of your mouth, get it out, and carries on. And then later on you find out that she's like been doing bad stuff behind the scenes because she gets all worked up and nerve. It's funny how it all comes together.
I hope they're not making the older actors, the ones playing the parents, just the comic relief, because they've got acting chops. They've proven it, and give them something substantial to do. I mean, it's obvious they're headed that way with Linda and Robert, but the others like Virginia Madsen and John McGinley, I hope they're going to give them something to do other than
they do
the comedy relief. The other, Ted and Marcus, that's probably the biggest trope of all. The gay couple, the same-sex couple.
Yeah.
But we must protect grandma. How about they walk in the house and, oh, grandma, and they just sit her down and here's what it is. I'm gay. This is my fiance. We're going to get married. I hope you can be happy for us. And then the drama that could come out of that.
Yeah.
Is a good storyline, not the hiding and being surreptitious and, oh, Ella's really the fiance.
Silly. Yeah.
It's like,
silly.
Oh, a backbone, dude. This is your mother. You're a grown man. Why are you this way? So
I know. I get it. But then maybe the twist could be that they like, and that would be tropey too, is that when she does find out she's okay with it all along, they were misunderstanding it.
I'm hoping that's, oh, my brother was gay, so I totally get it. Or someone in her life that was important, and they just totally misread the room. And the last thing I'll say, Katie, and I'm blanking on the other sister's name. That's probably the most realistic, because people fall out at Christmas time and all of their stuff comes up and you gotta, work it out. But the other stuff that comes up at Christmas, has anyone ever on a Hallmark film ever been an alcoholic or an addict or had any bouts with mental illness?
Yes.
They have.
An alcoholic one. Yes, it's actually, let me tell you this, and it's rare, but it's there's two things. In the caterers, what is it? It's Diane Mott Davidson wrote the books, but it's the Caterer series with Andrew Walker and Nikki DeLoach. Her ex-husband, who's a doctor, was an alcoholic, and it ruined their marriage, but they got divorced. He got counseling. He's doing better. They address it and they talk about it. But the other one, which was a big part of the story, is she separated from her husband, and it's Allison Sweeney. It's a Christmas movie where they're separated. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Mal Matter plays her husband, and he's an alcoholic and he's a bartender. And he does it because, and I've heard of this before, he does that to keep himself on task or whatever. And his mother doesn't know that they're really separated. There's this whole big thing. And they do tackle it in that one. That one's a kind of sad one, but you're right. It's rare and few between. And if I'm not mistaken, both of those movies that I'm talking about aren't on Hallmark. They're on the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, which can tackle things a little bit more there. Yeah.
I would just love to see a little bit more maturity, more mature storylines, more mature character motivation on some of these, and not just, gee whiz, Nora and Josh. Oh, I know what you're going to say. We revisited the past, and it just we didn't work then, and we just don't work. Every life is just not this big old ending with a bow, and and it gives you really bad expectations for life if you're if you're really believing this stuff. I don't know.
I know. But I get it too. So the flip side of that is when you're watching the docu-series that they have, Christmas at Sea, and they do follow a certain group of people through the whole 4-part series, but then they give you glimpses of other, because there was like 2,000 stars that were on this ship, and they're telling their stories. And I've heard this many times. There was a older woman, and they were asking her something about being on the cruise, and she was in tears, and she said, look, I battled cancer, and I didn't even at times know who I was, because she didn't feel like herself, but I always knew who they were, meaning the stars and the shows. And she always knew where it was going. So it was her feel good comfort. And that's why she loved watching it. So that is correct. That it can be tropey, and then people are looking for that. But I think that Hallmark is trying, as the years have gone on, to also try to find a balance where there more people, not everybody feels that way. Some people love the happy ending, but would love it to be a little more realistic too. And what I enjoy is when it's too hoaxy and it's too silly, the acting feels hoaxy and silly. Yet these actors, you turn around and you see them in something else, and you're like, wow, they really are good at what they do. It has to do with the script. It has to do with the direction. So I like being able to see them show off what they can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably why I like Holidays. I know about the tropes. I agree with you, but I like it also because it is a little different. It is, especially some of the other storylines, like the one that we're going to be seeing soon is very different than anything else. That I really enjoy it. I wanted to share what some of the people are saying here. Catherine's here, and I'm hiding your face. Sorry. She says, I hear you, Kathy. I think I'm ready for more expanded storylines from Hallmark too. And look, they're all agreeing with you, but Robin and Catherine are your best friends. Um, Robin agree, Kathy, as it is a challenging situation for many, and to have a more open conversation as a family would be wonderful to see. And I think that has to do with what we were talking about, especially about the gay couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like Chesapeake Shores, a great a great series with big issues. Yes, they really had big issues.
Yeah, and not to bring up other shows, but I think that what we've been talking about, or what I've been talking about, in terms of cookie cutter storylines,
Yep.
I think that's part of why we ended up with Nathan and Elizabeth. Because
Yes.
why couldn't we have stuck with Nathan? No, we didn't want to go there with Lucas and Elizabeth and explore it. They had issues. Bring it on. Let's talk about their issues. He wants to be governor, and it turns out he's got this hidden ambition he didn't even know he had. And she wants to stay in town. Well, why not have them work through that? And then after they work through it, maybe they break up, maybe they stay together, but at least it's real. It isn't just,
Yes.
oh, what day is it? Tuesday? You know what? I've changed my mind. Go on and live your life, and I'm going to live mine. So I think that's part of this whole cookie cutter syndrome. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to send to Washington, patent that, and get a patent on that phrase. But it's it needs to be explored. And I love the word that my besties have been using, expand. They need to expand the storylines to really kind of go just a layer underneath there to talk about
Yep.
what's under the surface.
And that's funny that you're saying that, and you brought up When Calls the Heart, and people have it screenshot, because nothing goes away, where Brian Bird said, we went the route of Elizabeth and Lucas because we didn't want to tell the same stories. We wanted to have more stories to tell, and we wanted something different. And then we, go back the other way. And people would say, that's not how it was supposed to be. It's always supposed to be the teacher and the Mountie, the teacher and the Mountie, the teacher. Cookie cutter, that kind of thing. And you're correct. And there are a lot of storylines that have been repeating. I mean, when you're into your 13th season, sure, things repeat. And I remember, I think it was Anna White. And if it's not Anna, I'm sorry, Anna, if I got the wrong person. But we were talking, and it's true, as a writer, there's only so many storylines. but it's the characters that you put in and the way you tell the storyline that makes it different. So it could definitely be my old high school crush has come back, right? But it doesn't have to be stereotypical. It could be something totally different. Maybe your old crush from high school comes back and you find out that he was away and he was an alcoholic and he was, you know what I mean? Like it could just, it's instead of it just being so typical that they just put different names in it, a different town and move on. Not that they're always doing that, not bashing in them for it, but I get what you're saying because it's not done enough.
And I'm
Right?
a big, yeah, you know me. I can't stand the concept of let's put these people together and do this because we need to get, let's do A and B because we need to get to point C. How about looking at the characters that in some cases have been beautifully written and
Yes.
let
Help us.
the storyline expand from there about
Yes.
what would be their motivation for what they're
Yes.
doing, and then let it just, yeah, let it unfold that way. That's what I'm a big fan of, and I think When Calls the Heart and The Way Home and every other every other show that we've enjoyed and that have been successful has followed that formula, being
They have.
character driven and not plot driven.
And as soon as they become plot driven, then we
You
got
you lose me. That's
yeah.
that's where I'm pretty much done
Yes, I know.
because I know how it's going to turn out.
I know.
I know how Holidays is going to turn out for every single one of these storylines. It's completely predictable.
So have you watched 5, 6, 7, and 8?
No,
Okay. I want to hear your predictions. Hold that thought before you give predictions because I wanted to talk about. Could you remind me? Because we're talking about stereotypical. Could you remind me to talk about a new mini series that's coming up when we're done? But I want to hear your predictions. So Robin said, can't wait to see that in Canada, Christmas at Sea. Not available to us yet. Um, Robin, I feel like it is and I forget what I saw and what channel it was on. I will look for you, Robin, and I will post if I find it. Okay. The other thing is, yes, I love the happy endings, however, with some real issues. Yes. And then Robin is over here agreeing with us. So Robin is your
they
BFF.
need to work for those happy endings.
They need to work for it. Yes, not just be like my friend Chip would always say every time you meet like they had the fiance and they had to go away to the small town to solve the problem, and then the fiance shows up in the small town and you see that your fiance is in love with somebody else and they're like, oh, it's okay, he's the better man. When does that happen? Usually there's like some kind of brawl that goes on.
You know the other one, the other humongous trope.
What?
And tell me how many times this has happened to you. You walk in on a significant other on the phone with their back turned and they can't, no no what do they call it, peripheral vision, they don't
Yes.
know you're there, and you hear part of a conversation. Yes, yes. Oh, okay, yes, I love you too, thank you, and then it's all,
I'm leaving. Don't
oh,
even tell anyone. I'm leaving.
they don't want me anymore, they were two timing me, and
Yes.
oh, come on. And then
And
it's
here,
till the last 10 minutes of the show before they get that resolved. And no, I was told that was my secretary. She's about to have a baby, and I was just telling her, yeah, whatever. It's
I
just,
know.
come on.
The other thing that I can't stand, and it happens all of the time, and I know it's supposed to build tension, but I'm sorry. Lock those lips, okay? The almost kiss, the almost kiss, the almost kiss. Lock the lips, okay? Do the kiss, and then be like, "Woo, okay, let's move on from that. Make it awkward or make it in something else, but do the kiss and stop the almost kiss." You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But
Robin,
I didn't mean to take this off on a tangent of what's wrong
no,
with the show. It's a wonderful show, and it's
no,
got
I
a lot of
agree.
stuff going for it. It's just, I think it could be so much more, as could all of the Hallmark Christmas movies. I think they could all be more because they're basically the same movie.
I know, but they're cute. I love them. So let's talk about some more things that I learned about. Well, first of all, Christmas at I love how Hallmark the material that they're giving us for Christmas in July is a little different, where they're doing that triple play where Saturday we're getting the Unwrapping Christmas, and there's one for all 4 Saturdays, all 4 weekends. And then for all 4 weekends, we're getting Holidays because there's 8 episodes, but they're doubling them up on Sunday. And then all 4 weekends weeks on Monday, we get a part of the cruise. And I love how it's all rolling in together. So when I was talking about, recapping the cruise and having people on and talking about it, because it is an amazing experience, I was like, well, who would you like to have on? Now, Tyler Hines is on that cruise. He's amazing. I've never chatted with him. Andrew Walker is on that cruise. Nikki DeLoach is on that cruise. Ben Ayers is on that cruise. There were a lot of different names, but the 2 that I really wanted to have on, and they happen to be BFFs, was Erin Cahill, because I wanted to be able to also talk about Holidays with her, because they are being featured together, and Holidays needs to be talked about. I remember when people were like looking for stuff to watch when their favorite series was over, and we got to see them at the same time, The Way Home and also When Calls the Heart. So then people had like this desert, like where's our series? What do we need? And I'm like, go to Hallmark Plus. Watch Holidays. It is different, and I can't tell you how good it is. It is. It's very well written. It's like all the stories interconnect, and I love it. Like, for instance, we see what is her name on my brain, and I apologize. She's the sheriff. Erin Cahill's her role. She's
Nora.
gonna, what is it?
Isn't it Nora?
Nora's going to leave to take Mr. Hill. What's his name? Ryan, Nathan, what is it? Josh. Gonna take Josh home, right? And she said, but you have to wait until her friend comes in and is going to stay with her son. And here she's the one that's having her own storyline too, because she's the neighbor, and neighbors do become friends, and they intertwine with each other, and they have each other's stories to tell. When it gets to the end, it's pretty amazing how they all come together. So the script writer and whoever plotted this whose brainchild this was, pretty cool. Not pretty cool, very cool. I had wanted to ask, and we ran out of time, and I would love to have somebody else come on. I am so interested in, what did it look like trying to film all of this? And where was that set? Maybe somebody has already addressed this, and I don't know. I'll watch the podcast if they have. Where was the set that you found 8 different houses on a cul-de-sac that you could take over? Or was it really just 2 and they dressed and undressed them? What did that look like? What were the hours? Like, how, normally when it's like 2 weeks, like 14, 15 days to make a Christmas movie. Well, this was like 8 Christmas movies, and they all were involved. I'm curious to know about all that went into it.
I'm wondering if it was like a couple of houses that they redressed, because I'm thinking logically they would have done all the family at the same time. And then you guys can go home, next family in. And so they just redress the house for each family, except for obviously the first episode and probably the last episode where you're going to see everybody together.
I love how Josh, when he was done doing the hug, and he's like, I'm the criminal. And then he goes to show up to go help out on his last day of doing his service. And they're all like, yeah, keep on going. You're only allowed to go back and making ornaments. And they were like, and he went on his way, and he sat down, and now they're trying to make the ornament. I don't know. And he gets all excited about making the bike. He's like, it changed my life. He's going to be driving down the road. It's just so cute. The 3 of them are really, really cute. And then she gives him that hug, and it made me cry again. It's almost like I could feel their hug, like what they were going through emotionally, because it was they were both teared up. It was very emotional for both of them, because he's got old timey hurt. That's why he's so distant. And she has more recent hurt. And they kind of have feelings for each other. And I don't know, I found it to be, I don't know, nice. I liked it. But I get where you're saying it would have been maybe even more interesting if the little boy was like, no, like he does like him, but no, he's not for you, kind of
Or
thing.
he was old enough to remember his dad and doesn't want his dad replaced, and he feels threatened by that. So he's got some issues around it.
Yes.
And how does Nora deal with that?
Yes.
To me, that's like interesting stuff. And then I still want them to end up together.
Oh, of course. Yes.
There's been some tension, some drama about how,
working.
and I wouldn't be so sure about how they got there. Yeah.
Right. And we've got the hint that the character of Virginia's character, going down my list over here, there's something going on in her life, something that she's kind of acting goofy where she wants all the family to get along, everybody to behave, and you know that there's something like
Yeah.
what?
I think that may respond to one of the things I brought up. I think she's going to turn out to have some kind of illness.
Right. So tell me about your predictions. I want to hear them.
Oh, I mean, Nora and Josh are going to end up together. And I
That's what
predict he'll move whatever. I don't even remember what his business is, but he's going to start doing it from that town.
he's an art.
Yeah, he can design homes anywhere.
Yes, he's
So
not going to go away. Yep.
Linda and Robert, I think the Hallmark formula would have them end up together, but they may, if they're feeling their oats, if they had their Wheaties that morning, they may just say, let's leave her with the younger guy and have Robert okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that one, I don't know, I could go either way with that. Ted and Marcus are obviously going to end up together, and they'll probably end up getting married in the backyard so grandma can be there and participate in it. And
Yep.
she'll do something sweet for them and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. And welcome, what's his name? Marcus. Is it Marcus?
With open arms.
Yeah, they'll she'll welcome him into the family, and her son and daughter-in-law will be like, who is this woman and what have you done with, Nana? So I think Kate and I'm again blanking on the sister. I think that one is very interesting, and I just see them having a conversation and having it come out that there was some kind of misunderstanding, or somebody heard something and misunderstood it. But I think they're going to end up together too. I mean, in resolving their issue.
Sylvie,
Sylvie.
the two sisters, Sylvie, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it Katie, the other one?
Lindley, what is it? Aren't we terrible? I'm terrible. I am just so terrible. There's too many names.
Anyway, I think they're going to resolve their issues and reconcile.
Yes.
Which will be a wonderful thing.
They will reconcile. But I have to tell you.
Oh. Which is the one?
What?
Holland Roden was her bully.
Yes, those two. That family makes me angry. Yes.
Who's the victim of the bullying? Katie?
She's best friends with Nora.
Okay, I can't think of her name. I think I'm having
Lindy Booth it's Lucy. Lindy Booth is Lucy. Yeah. So Lucy and Sylvie are sisters. Yes. And believe it or not, Lucy is the older of them and would take care of Sylvie. But I thought that they did a great job of the three of them looking alike and being sisters. I like that. Now you're talking about Nora's best friend.
Her boyfriend's girlfriend or fiance.
Yes.
Which I think is enough drama for a movie on its own, frankly. Because, I'm sure that she feels belittled and minimized, not understood.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal to her.
It is.
I think there's going to have to be a real come to Jesus meeting between Lucy and Holland Roden.
No, Lucy is the Sylvie's sister. It's Gabby and Holland's, yeah.
Gabby. Okay, Gabby, and I'm going to call her Holland because I can't remember the character's
Katie.
name. Kate. That's Katie.
Yes.
Too many cast members, too many characters.
There are a lot.
But, I think that they're going to have to sit down away from the fiance brother and talk through how Gabby felt and what that meant to her and to her self-esteem. Because I suspect Katie doesn't realize how deeply what she did impacted Gabby.
She was really mean.
Yeah. And everything is wonderful now, and I love your brother, so I love you too. And it's like, it doesn't really work that way.
No, she's really mean. Like her father.
Mm-hmm.
Her father's mean. Her father's got a mean, jerky Chuck. Chuck is a chunk,
Yeah.
a chump.
So I think
Robin.
all will be well there, but I'd love to see her brother actually make the gesture. I didn't
Mm,
realize how much this meant to you.
mhm.
I love you, and if it means that you will be hurt or I will lose you as my sister, then I'm willing to give her up. And of course, Gabby will somehow find the courage to work through it and
Yeah.
go to Katie and make it up. But I would love to see him stand up for his sister because
So she gets doesn't she get mad in the first episode and Katie storm out and go stay over Gabby's house? Does she
that
get
sounds
mad
familiar. That sounds familiar.
and she goes and stays over there and I'm like, "Well, where's she sleeping? With
Mhm.
him? What we got going on there?"
Yeah, yeah.
Um Robin is saying something about my interview with Sarah Jo. Yes, your Sarah Jo interview was awesome. I need to watch Erin Cahill interview. Yes, check out the Erin Cahill interview. But the Sarah interview, we got to talk a little bit about. She told a lot about behind the scenes and whatnot, and how she felt as an actor with the fans and what that experience was like for her. She discussed it in great detail, but we got to slip in a little bit about mistletoe murders. And I didn't realize this, but I know there's a season 2. She actually was editing some stuff before she even hopped on with me. And she was saying that mistletoe murders season 1, which is 6 episodes, and season 2 will be playing all throughout Christmas countdown starting in October. So we're going to get to see both. And that is another one that I just can't speak enough about it. Were there some hokey? There's 6 different mysteries. Was there some little tiny bit of hokiness? There's one mystery that I felt was a little weird about a group of carolers and who died and who did the killing. But I'm looking at the main 3 because the cast is not really large, and I like when that happens. And I'm looking at um, the the characters of the sheriff or the detective, the shop owner, and the detective's daughter. So that is Sarah is Emily, and she's the one who owns the shop, and she's got this like this crazy past that we don't know about. And Peter Mooney, and the 3 of them and their interaction is electric. It's good and it's different. And I'm glad that it's on, and I cannot wait to see. And there's funny things peppered in it. So I'm excited about it.
But
And go ahead.
no, I was agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yes. So Catherine is saying that drama is so real among families, not getting along and feeling like a victim of bullying. Yes. Yes. And Jean, you're right. She kept calling her Easy Bake when she was younger because she was into it and was making fun of her. Yes, Mistletoe Murders and Peter Mooney. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I think that they've got a challenge with how they've done the ending, which I don't know yet, but you've got some lighthearted stories and then you got
Yeah,
some deep stories.
you do.
You're going to have to do them justice because they intertwine. So you're going to have
Yep.
to really do that balance. And I suspect that Gabby and Katie's issues are going to be resolved somehow. Uh, it will somehow be associated with what I predict will be Katie's mom's illness or whatever it is she's going to be dealing with, something serious. And I think that Katie will take her cue from that. She'll either get some wisdom from her mom directly,
Mhm.
or she'll watch her dad change because
Mhm.
of what the new circumstance is and get some wisdom from that. And that
Mhm.
is how indirectly she and Katie will be able to make amends.
So I've watched all of it before, and I have to say that there are some surprises in how things get worked out. One of the storylines, well, 2 of the storylines surprised me a lot. And it's what's surprising to me is the interaction. That's okay. The interaction people have with each other, like how they get, like what we were saying we would like. We don't want it to always be so tropey, but how we get to the resolution, especially with Gabby's story, is a little different than what we might expect. And it's a little eye-opening, and you can see that people kind of mature. I feel like in the Chuck and how he's raising his family is Chuck's a jerk, and he needs to mature, and he needs to not be so selfish. What would bring him quickly to his knees? What would it take to see a turnaround in him without it being just so fakey TV stuff? It'd have to be something pretty serious, right? And then also to see him not be totally changed, but a little softer, maybe, right? And the way they go about tying it all together, I didn't feel like, oh, they just rushed it. I could see how, and it was good. It was good. And I also, there's something that I liked about each one of them, but I felt like I liked it more and more and more as it went on. I don't know why, because they all had a cool storyline. It's just the more that we got there. My least favorite storyline was the storyline about grandma who couldn't handle stuff, because I thought it was too tropey and too silly, especially trying to hide stuff from her. But when you think about it, you've got to put some silly in there because they're trying to look at everything. They want a combo. They have an opportunity to be funny. They have an opportunity to touch your heart, for a rom-com, for a little bit of mystery. They have for like nobody died and there's no detective kind of stuff in there, but there's still like a slight little mystery, a little we got to unearth kind of stuff. And I thought that they did a really good job with it. I just really did. Candace says, I will watch it on Hallmark during the countdown to Christmas season. Yes, Candace. Christmas Mistletoe Murders. You need to. It's good. I can't wait. So I wanted to say that I feel like I don't know what Hallmark's doing. They're out there trying to explore other things and good writing and good storytelling. And we all are critics. We can all be sitting here like you and I talk about something and I feel like we nailed it and we're right. And then I go off and I hear this other team, like I'm going to use Eric. Eric does the Hallmark mysteries and movies, and he usually has a partner that comes on, and I'm listening to them and I'm like, what? No. And then I'm like, really? They're the complete opposite on some of the stuff that we say. Just like I think they could tune. Well, I don't know if they do tune into us and say, what
where are they getting this from?
Yeah, I'm like, that's what you thought was great, or that's what you thought was swoon worthy, or that's what you thought was funny, or what do you mean it's not good, right? What do you know? Like it's funny because it could be different in the opposite. Certain things we agree on, but that's the thing about anything is opinions.
Subjective.
Yes, but what is not, I say in my eyes, subjective is when people say, well, that's just my opinion. And I'm like, no. That is not what the storyline said. Those are not the clues. Those are not the hints that were there all along. It's what you wanted to see. That's like I say to my students, if you're going to say, this is what I think, you've got to go back and pull out that evidence to support what you're saying. Then that makes for good opinions. And we're always right. And that's the end of that story. Okay. So Hallmark stepped out of the box. They took a Jude Devereaux, and I apologize, has a partner in writing in this, and I forget what her name is.
Sheets.
What is it?
Sheets.
Yes. How could I forget that? It's like hitting the sheets. Okay. They got together and they wrote a trilogy. And the trilogy is turned into a 3-part miniseries, 3 2-hour movies. The first one will be out on the 2nd of August, 8 o'clock, Hallmark Channel, and 8 o'clock Eastern. And we will be promoting it and hearing more about it on the 29th, I think. I'm part of that group. Why is there's a weird... What is this on my screen? Why is there something hiding? Are you showcasing something, Kathy?
Nope.
What is somebody's name and thing is popped up? That
Catherine is. I think it's Catherine Beebe. It's very small print.
Why is it there though?
Oh, you know what? They've got a new thing now where the comments show on there.
Who allowed that to happen? Because there's
I
a whole
don't
bunch
know.
of
I don't know. I don't think I
right.
have the power to do it, but
I don't like it and I want it to go away, but that's for another day.
nothing personal, Catherine.
All right, let's see what Catherine has to say. Because, well, no, Catherine, we're going to hold off. So I want to talk about what I was getting to. So I've watched all three. They sent it to the screeners to me. I know you didn't do it, Catherine. I have no, all of her stuff is showing up now, and now it's there. I got rid of it. Now, I was only like a half hour into it, and I was like, oh my God. I need someone to talk to. I need to tell them about this, and I can't. I have to find someone else who has the screeners. In my opinion, it is amazing. So here's what they did. They took a serious bit of time travel. People, and we've seen clips are already out, so I can say this, where it starts out in 1844, where this unlikely couple, of course, falls in love and they die. And they wind up in present time. Different people, except one of them knows all about their past and the others don't. And these seven souls come together to make right a wrong. And the two actors, Lachlan, I think that's how you say his name, Cornby, he plays Liam, and Katie Stevens plays Cora. They're the actually, I think the storyline is really about Lachlan, like the Liam's story. He's like the lead of it. They are the couple that have been in love through time. And then there's angels that are in it. So you've got those actors are phenomenal. Lucy Guest was the director for episodes 1 and 3. Siobhan Devine did 2. What they had them do is a sizzle on screen. Okay. They're so good. But then they throw in that alone is all good. I wish that's all it was that. But then they throw in these angels that kind of are all white and take you, the angels are involved. And then there's a mystery involved. And there's a load of humor. So you've got serious, hot, sizzling romance with time travel, with mystery, solid mystery in each episode, a separate one for each. And angels, you know how people love that, the whole angels get involved, and humor. And I'm like, well, they were going for it all here, weren't they? And it's good. It's good. Just like they were going for a lot of different genres and themes in Holidays, and they didn't go, of course they didn't do supernaturally stuff, but it was good. It sounds fabulous, Rob, and it is good. It's very good. And poor Catherine, I didn't do that. Okay, Catherine, full disclosure, I love Christmas in July from Hallmark because it's been so hot here in Arizona, and I love pretending I'm in the snow just for a short while. Okay. And you know what? I love Christmas in July for what it is. My family would, like I said, instead of having a snowball fight, we'd have a white water balloon fight. We'd have frozen hot chocolate. We would be at the pool, and we didn't get gifts. We took a charity and we gave gifts. But the kids did get something because Santa would come and the dads would get to play each year, the different Santa in his Hawaiian gear and whatnot. But he'd pull out like water gun. Well, can we say gun? Water, I don't know. GUNs. What is it? Projectiles and, fun things like that. And it's just fun in itself. And we got all this too, which is great. Well, it's so nice that people are hanging out with us. What do you want to say before we wrap it up? And thank you for standing by as I was running late.
No worries. I don't know. I'm just, I'll be curious to see how Holidazed ends. Mm-hmm. And I look forward to watching the Jude Deverell and Tara Sheets miniseries. So August 2nd, I'll be there.
It's so good. All right, friends. I don't know if you have any questions for us. I've been saying this. So because there's When Calls the Heart fan page, and I happen to be one of the admin to it, if something relates or connected to any of the cast members or whatever, when we're in between stuff, we post stuff about it. And the same with The Way Home. We have stuff about the Providence Falls on the way home because of the time travel. But if it's all this other stuff, we don't post on there because it doesn't fit. But if you're looking for extra content, we share it. But I almost feel a little guilty to do that because there are some people that just are not interested. Do you know what I mean? They just want One Calls the Heart. So I do have a separate page. It's not of any, like, I don't make any money from it or anything, but it's the easiest place for me to put all of the stuff. I got a lot of stuff that people don't realize I have. Like, I have all this stuff about, I have the guests of actual people, the families that are being followed in the docuseries. They'll be my guests. That's tomorrow. Nate and his grandmas are going to come on and they're going to talk about their experience. People who are excited about going on the cruise can ask them questions. They will answer them. Some of the actors that I've had on, a core of the actors I chatted with, stuff coming up with Providence Falls. I mean, there's also is it Double Scoops? There's a new movie out with Ryan McFarlane, Taylor Cole, Jackie Collier. Like, they'll be on, and so I put it on that page. It's everything about Hallmark, and I just stick it all on there. So that's where you can find everything. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, that sounds fabulous. And thank you, ladies. I've had a busy summer, so missed some lives. This was great. Appreciate your time. You're welcome, Robin. You can always go back and watch. All right, Miss Kathy, what do you want to say before we say goodbye?
It's been real. I'm going to go back to now Summer Dazed.
Yes. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, all.
Bye.